Welcome to Boys and Brunch, everyone. This is the show where we expose everything going down on the timeline. Today we're talking about OnlyFans. We're talking about Meg Thee Stallion. We're talking about what else? Accepting and rejecting people based on their HIV status. And then we're going to close the show with our usual Greenleaf talk. I'm Jarrod D. King. And yes, this is a man bun. And I am joined by Marcus Haynes and Brandon Harris Williams. How you guys doing today?
Yes, Wave.
Good.
So you guys got your drinks today? What's going on?
Yeah, I have mine. It's a watermelon margarita.
Okay. That's nice.
A little premix thing, you know.
Listen,
Okay.
no, I feel it. I returned to an old favorite, classic sweet red wine.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I have coffee today. It is a sober day for me. I know,
What, 2 weeks
Brandon.
in a row?
Slipping.
No, look, last week was rosé. So
okay.
I'm not.
The week before that was coffee.
The week before that was yeah. So yeah, I know I'm messing up, but So
no, it's fine because you refilled your rosé last week, so we'll let you slide because you was over there heavy-handed.
True.
Right. So Marcus, let's give us a personal update before we get into stuff. What's going on with you today or this week?
What's happening? The chaos of getting ready to go back to work. Like that's
That's good.
Yeah, that's been, I guess, one of the big stories of this week. Like trying to figure out, okay, how in the world am I going to teach these children?
And you said you were going to do more online stuff.
I'm trying to be online 24/7 if I can.
And Brandon, I had something. Okay, so why are we binging Mob Wives this week?
So I've been binging it honestly for the last couple of months. I'm a horrible binger, so I like watch a few episodes, like watch for like a week at a time, and I like take like weeks off or whatever. So I was just finally watching the whole series all the way through because I had never seen it all the way through. Like when it originally was on, I watched like the first 2 or 3, but I had never seen all 6. So I started from the beginning back in like May, and I'm finally on the 6th season now.
Oh goodness, I know you're getting all your life with
that
series. It is so nuts. It is so nuts. As far as me, my little personal update, I think for me, I've just been trying to learn how to pace myself creatively and not burn out as far as trying to put out content and all that stuff. So I've just been trying to keep a good pace because what I'll do is I'll start doing something, I'll go really hard and I'll burn out, and then you won't see anything from me for like a few weeks or something. I'm not trying to do that with this. I actually spoke to your co-host on your podcast, Brandon, Healing Space. I spoke to Sensei Raven Kundayo. So everybody, please listen to the Healing Space because that is a good podcast. So shout out to him because he kind of helped me get my mind right about how to be creative and stuff. So okay, so let's jump into what we're talking about today. So if at any point you hear something that you like, please heart it up on the live stream. Give us a like if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or wherever. And please interact, give us some comments. I'll be looking at the stream to try to interact with you guys and shout you out if we see anything that is pertinent to the conversation. So our first line of business is OnlyFans. So I want to know what you guys think, because I couldn't really find a good way to frame this. I guess I can start with basically what it is for those of you who haven't heard of it, if that's even possible, if you're a Twitter person. So basically people post content on it like any other social media platform, but in order to be a follower, now correct me if I'm wrong, but in order to be a follower, you have to pay for that content. I guess it's like a monthly subscription to a specific person.
To like their page or whatever,
Right. So now I see it's typically known for X-rated videos and photos, but one could use it potentially for more family-friendly content. I don't know who, but yeah.
No, but I think a few people though, they kind of know that they have that thirst trap appeal or whatever. And so they kind of, because you can't see any of the content, so there's like no preview unless they like post something somewhere else. So then they kind of tell you, oh, I have one, and then you might pay for it, and it's like, oh, they're cooking. Then they got you.
Right.
Or they're doing workout videos or something, you know, and then you can't get your money back.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's what happened
to
this
you?
week.
Yep.
Oh no, Marcus. All right, so let's slide into
Tell
that
us who,
story first.
so we don't buy.
No, it was my own fault. I don't think this page exists anymore because so many people just like ragged on them. It was my own fault for following into the straight thirst trap and pay for the content, and it was like like $11.99, which was already on the high end for me. Pay for it, look, and there were like 3 videos, and then there was a message that said like, I deleted all of my videos, so people were screenshotting them. I'm not gonna come back. I'm like, and and what you said is exactly what happened. I saw a preview that somebody had retweeted from, I guess, months back. I was like, this looks like it may be worth it. It was not.
That's the thing too, you hate when you see a preview of something, and not just this type of content, but in general, then you watch the full thing and you be like, damn, why was the preview better than, that was all the good parts.
Oh man. So this brings up the topic that kind of got us into talking about OnlyFans in the first place was, we have a lot of celebrities and stuff that are kind of testing the waters with OnlyFans. And specifically, there was a rapper, Ruby Rose, who made over $100,000 in 2 days just by telling her fans to follow her on OnlyFans. And all she posted was basically the same stuff that she posts on Instagram.
Well,
so
I got the
like,
money now.
Right.
So.
Is that a con? Would you guys consider that like?
Yeah, but I mean, but nobody's making you pay for it though either. Is the thing, like you have to enter in your credit card and your banking information. So, and that's also the gamble you take, because you don't know what's there until you click. Like it'll tell you how many videos, how many pictures they have, but there's no kind of preview, so you don't know until you pay.
Marcus, I guess you feel that way.
I got a question. So with her, was it the idea that, oh, this is going to be like X-rated like did they put up a preview that was like, oh, look at this X-rated content that's going to be on here or whatever, what have you?
I don't know. My sense is that she didn't really say anything because from what I read, I mean, she's very sexy, and I think people just assumed that she was just gonna go all crazy on the OnlyFans, and that wasn't the case. And I'm like, I don't know. For me, I'm just like, if you're not going to say one thing and then do so, I don't know if I necessarily put it in the, in the con area.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that. Like, see, like with my situation, the content was X-rated. It did lead you to believe that this was going to be more on the thing because this is what they showed at the preview. If old girl didn't say that, then I mean, you can't really be mad if she didn't do it. She say she would.
Right. So why has OnlyFans become so popular? I mean, I feel like there's so many places that you can find X-rated content not pay for it. So I'm just like, why even go there for Instagram celebrities? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so why would celebrities go there, you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying, why has it become such a popular destination for people, or why have people even started paying for that? What's the appeal?
Essentially, I think you can be like your own boss, to my understanding. And I don't know what percentage OnlyFans takes, but I mean, you get the bulk of that, I'm assuming, yourself, Now, granted, at some point you got to pay taxes, but I think as of now, it's pretty early on. So I think that's the thing, is like people can become, I don't know, people can get out of debt, because I've seen a couple guys like retweet that, like, I've been doing this for a couple months, I've gotten out of debt, I've saved some money, I've done whatever. And so it just depends.
Okay. All right.
And I think for the people who get it point of view, like the people who pay for the OnlyFans, while you can get free content on pretty much any website, whatever. I think the fan aspect, because you can directly, a lot of the things that I follow, you can directly ask for, like personalized content and stuff like that. So you get to pretty much create your own thing.
Okay, so
I think people. No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I want to say I think people also too like from comments I've seen on Twitter specifically is like people are moving more into like enjoying amateur stuff more than professional stuff. I think that's kind of the appeal as well as like, I mean, yeah, of course it still needs to like be properly lighted or whatever, but it's not these same stars that we've been seeing.
Right.
It's not as like overly produced as, what we see.
That's true. I'm also seeing that it might be, our viewer at love_eternal is saying that it's also for personal interaction with people who pay, or that it could be like something like that, and for feet pics.
If people do have OnlyFans dedicated to feet, I'm not into that, but go off.
So I know you have an account, Marcus. So what about you, Brandon? Do you?
I do have one. I do.
You do?
Like I subscribe, meaning I subscribe. I don't have a page.
Let
me clarify.
Gotcha. Okay.
Don't go looking for us.
Now
I haven't thought about it. Now,
okay. Look, I mean, it's very appealing because think you could just put something out there and get paid for it very quickly. So I can't knock the hustle. But I don't have an OnlyFans account. But who's your favorite OnlyFans? Who do you follow on OnlyFans that's your favorite? I'm not. Come on now. Y'all, you pay these people. So
we do.
You can
we
speak their names from the rooftop.
Exactly. They're getting the money. They're getting the shine. They good.
Okay, so I'm getting no answer. I'm getting a negative answer on that. That's where we draw the line. Huh?
I'll send you a link.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. Okay, then how about this question? Who would you pay to see on OnlyFans? Maybe somebody that you don't already see.
Like that doesn't have one, you're saying?
Yeah, that may not have an OnlyFans. Like who? Just anybody.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we've got crickets from the panel.
I'm thinking.
Okay, what about you? Since you have a question while we're thinking,
Okay, I mean, I would definitely pay to see. Dang, I can't even remember his name. Who is the dude from Moonlight? The sexy dude from Moonlight.
Oh, Trevante
Rhodes. Yes, I would love to. Okay. I would pay for his content. So yeah, that's me. All right. Well, we'll come back to this. We're
gonna come back.
So just think about it. I'll come back to you at the end of the program. Okay. Have your man ready. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about Meg Thee Stallion. So I want to say 2 weeks ago, it was reported that Tory Lanez got arrested for having a gun in his car. That was what it was reported at first. And then shortly after, it was reported that Meg Thee Stallion had a cut on her foot. And then she set the record straight on Instagram, stating that she'd been rushed to the hospital after being shot multiple times. Now, it is now alleged that Tory Lanez is the one who shot her after trying to leave. So while many have been sending well wishes, there has been a struggle between people who've made this incident a punchline in their jokes and memes and those who think it should be taken more seriously. One side thinks it's no different than any other situation. Like, we make jokes out of everything, especially on Twitter. But the other side thinks it's making a mockery of Black women's pain and domestic violence. So I guess I will throw the question to you guys. Brandon, which side are you
on? I can't say, thankfully, I haven't really seen that many jokes, so I don't know. I'm more of a case-by-case basis. I feel like nothing is really off limits. I also feel like I didn't see it. I personally see it as a domestic violence thing until it was kind of confirmed that they were dating. So before that, I thought it was just maybe two friends. So I wouldn't have given it that angle. I mean, but it still is not okay. You know what I'm saying? If he was the one to shoot her. So don't get me wrong. So I'm not saying we can joke about him doing that, but I think there's still a line maybe that you could go to. I would just have to maybe see a joke to be like, okay, that was too far and not too far.
Yeah. What about you, Marcus?
I didn't really see any jokes on like my timeline, like by actual people I follow. I saw a couple that was like retweeted. That was really just kind of like saying like, oh, well, I thought she was big bad, like and I even saw a couple people sort of like retweeting jokes that were like suggesting that Meg was trans, that Taurus shot her because he found out whatever, what have you. Like I even went on to the Twitter search bar and I typed in Meg, like kind of looking up the stuff for this story, and one of the first that popped up was Meg Thee Stallion trans. So I saw people retweeting like those type of quote unquote jokes, but they weren't on my timeline proper. Gotcha. So I can kind of see where people would be like, these jokes is not what's up. So yeah, I can get that. But like what Brandon said, I haven't seen it like from people that I actually follow.
Yeah, I haven't seen it too much either. I mean, I think the only joke, or the only, I guess, I don't want to even call it a joke, I guess maybe a little bit lighthearted-ish would be, comparing her to 50 Cent and saying, I don't know, I forget exactly what the joke was.
Lord.
But I think both sides have their points. And I would say, we do make a joke out of everything, but usually that's only for the things that affect us as a collective. And I feel like, or we're making fun of the villains in the situation. And I think in this case, it's a situation where it affects one individual. We kind of have to start with the compassion and well wishes and the support. I mean, that's kind of where it has to be. Now, I could understand if Meg decided to tweet, a little like kind of laughing at herself, like, ha ha, I would, be the one who da da da. And then everybody else, just kind of went along with that. But until she does that, like, let's cut it with the humor, because this was, a very sad, incident that happened. That that she said, from her mouth, that it was traumatizing. So
it's like one of them things, like what we used to say when we was kids, if somebody falls over, you make sure that they're all right first, and then you laugh at them.
Right. It's like one of those things. Okay, yeah, and I see at Evolving Remedy saying someone changed the name of her song to Shot Girl Summer. And yeah, I mean, it's just like jokes like that. It's like,
I hate people. I really
y'all
do.
are not
like, because I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because I hate people.
Because it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So, I mean, like, what do you think about like people just making a joke out of everything on Twitter? I mean, do you think that's a common case, and do you think that we have done this before? I mean, I feel like on Twitter, a lot of people have the idea that everything's kind of up for grabs when it not necessarily should be.
Yeah, it's a definite thing, like where people try to make a joke and try to make light out of everything, because it even gets to the point where people say stuff that's like actually really messed up, and they'll come back and be like, oh, it was just a joke. But now you're serious, like you just try to make it into a joke now.
Yeah.
So I think that is something that happens like a lot on Twitter. I guess at the same time, I can kind of see people are like really desensitized to a whole lot of stuff, but some stuff just like that ain't cool. Leave it alone.
Yeah. And I'm seeing, Drea deserves to be dragged. So let's talk about Drea for a minute, because that whole video where she was like, I would like to be, I forget what it was exactly.
Well, I guess
something like, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we're missing. Okay, so it came out that she was shot. We didn't know. He was arrested. Then it came out she was shot. Then it came out apparently, allegedly, they got into it over Kylie. So that's when we found out they were like together, I guess. So I just think that adds more to what you're about to say about Drea. I just wanted to clarify that.
Right. Okay, yeah. So then Drea's like, I wish a man would love me enough to, shoot me in the foot or something like that. Like, like what the hell? Like, and then to see that this was somebody that you knew personally, because I think Brandon, you had shared like a video clip of them both, at a pool party or something. They like know each other. So so it's just really strange. So Brandon, what would your thoughts about that be? Because you also mentioned the whole Kylie side of this story.
So that would be my thing too. That would be like, I feel like it's too far. I feel like you can't joke about the necessarily being shot at. So I can't think of, I guess, a joke that is quote unquote okay. Because I didn't see them myself, so I don't really know. But I think that you saying that, like you said, making light of domestic violence is never okay. So that part of like, or saying that I want a man to shoot me, why would you want that? Like, what kind of, and that's the thing too, it's like celebrities say stupid things with these large platforms. And granted, most people drug her as they should have. But it's like, some people though, you are still impressionable and they're like, okay, well, if Drea thinks that, then that is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it gives them like people, because I guarantee that she is not the only person who feels that sort of way, who feels like, oh, my man needs to hit me or whatever, what have you, for me to know that he loves me or for me to know that he's a real man. So you got people who are feeling like, who are feeling validated. Like, yeah, exactly. That's the same way I feel. And it just gets to be foolishness, because it's like, you are legit risking death. Like, you getting shot at. You're legit risking death for to say like, oh, my man loves me, or he really cares about me because he shot me because I wanted to leave. Like, what's going on?
Oh, what's going on? What's
not clicking?
Exactly. And I get to like you wanting someone who is assertive, but assertive isn't always, it does not mean aggressive or even violent.
Not.
Like,
yeah,
people conflate the three all the time, and that bothers me.
Yeah,
and even I'm gonna say, and even that, like, there's a time and a place for assertion, because if you are legit, if because we don't know, if the story is true that that Tory was most all up on Kylie and him and Meg are together. If that story is true and Meg is upset about it, like, that ain't you ain't got no heel to stand on. Like, you in the wrong, but you trying to assert yourself as if you have a point.
Right. And how do we get to the point where you pull out a gun if we're fighting about some other bitch? Like, what are we really doing? Like,
that's crazy. That's crazy to me. I have I feel like there is some kind of attraction to a guy who can like put you in your place, and I think that was kind of what Drea was trying to get at, and it really was just not the right thing to say.
And
go ahead, Marcus.
And my thing with that is, folks always want to say that I want me a roughneck, I want me a rough man, and they lean into that whole you want somebody. Basically, really, it just boils down to rough sex. That's really what they want. They really just want that, and leave that in the bedroom. We can do all these sorts of things. We can, choke, do all this sort of stuff when it comes time for that. But on a day-to-day basis, I don't want you hitting me upside my face. I don't need that. Like, because that's when it gets over into, like we said, this is domestic violence. This is you leading into, this is leading to stuff that could be permanent damage. I mean, like in Megan's situation, we all know Meg is praised, for the steel knees, for her twerking on stuff, for her performing these sorts of things. Like, you shot her in the foot. Like, this could very easily have turned into something that ends her career. Is really just now rocketing.
Yeah. So last question on this topic was, I guess, the ignoring Black women's pain argument around this. So do you feel like we do that? Is that something, I mean, like, where do you stand on that kind of a statement? Because I feel like that was kind of the sense that I was getting from the conversations that I'd seen about this. Brandon, how were you feeling about that?
I don't know. I think maybe if it wasn't consciously, because I think like initially he got arrested and she made her statement saying that she was like shot, but it kind of alluded to her being like okay, and then she hasn't said anything else. I think it goes back to your point earlier of like, if we don't know, I think a lot of people assume, okay, so you're sharing something on social media again, so you're at least okay physically. So then I think that's what kind of opens it up to now we can joke or make light or do whatever about it, is because we know like she's not in ICU. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think, I myself wouldn't say it's making light of Black women's pain, but I could see that argument.
Yeah.
Marcus, any other thoughts?
I think what you said about it be about it not happening consciously. I think that's like kind of the, I guess you could say, issue. Because it goes back to this whole thing of like, the strong Black woman, like, oh, well, you're talking about it, so you must be good. And it doesn't take into consideration that like what she said, that she could be traumatized.
Yeah. So
I think it is really like sort of unconscious thing, because we have this mindset, that, Black women, especially somebody like Meg, because, Meg is, has a very strong personality, strong energy. People talk about her because she's so tall. Like, you will kind of, I don't want to say conditioned, but that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Like, to really kind of see, Black women as like, oh, well, you can take it. Like, you can be, like, you'll be good. So it comes across as like this unconscious thing where it's like, oh, well, we can joke about it because she's going to be fine. When then the truth of the matter is she probably is really not.
Or I think even that thing too, like you're saying, like if she's tall, I don't know, maybe I'm assuming like 5'9", 5'10", whatever. He's like 5'3", 120.
Right.
Like, sorry.
And at Love Eternal saying, if he had shot Kylie, Twitter would have picked up pitchforks. And I completely agree. It would be a completely different story. Truth. And I think the argument has merit. I mean, just based on that alone, it's like, how are we treating the issue? We're not seeing a hashtag get well Meg the same way that we would say, a hashtag get well Kylie or a hashtag get well whoever else. And it brings me back to the whole idea that Black women are ignored even in hospitals when they say I'm having pain. It's like, oh, it's all in your head, blah blah blah. I mean, that even happened to my own mother, and it's just like, that you have to pay attention, and you have to be supportive. And so I think that we all can do a little bit better in that respect. So I'm going to move on to our next topic, if y'all don't mind. We have a rather trash tweet that I'm going to share with you all. So let's see.
I forgot for a minute, but I'm like, okay.
I was like, are you going to put it in?
All right, so here we go. This shit is crazy. Every I meet or run into that try to talk always ruins it because they say one thing that turns me off. They'd be like, oh, by the way, I'm HIV pos undetectable. Bruh, move around. I'm HIV negative. That shows me y'all just out here anything but a pulse. So there we go. This goes our craziness. I just want to know what your guys' reactions to that were, because there was a lot of chatter or a lot of comments after that tweet that popped up. And I want to know initially, what were your thoughts when you came across that? Let's go with you, Marcus. Let's go first with you.
Like,
You want me to go first? Are you?
Please, I'm trying to formulate my words.
I'm tired of this conversation, to be honest. I think that we've been discussing HIV in the Black gay community or that community, whatever, specifically for long enough to know that is a reach, that's incorrect. I think that social media's been around. We've had these kind of dialogues, or I hate that some people like monthly are like, would you date somebody with HIV? Like, shut up. The shit is stupid. It's like, you want attention. Also too, I think it's very ignorant as well. Like that whole, what is it? The CDC statistic that like 1 in 2 of us in like X amount of years will have it. So it's like, okay, now not to lean into that, but just saying that is true. That's the path that we're on. You're going to come across a man who has HIV, and what is wrong with him sharing that he has that with you? I'm like, if anything, he's being upfront and honest. What is the point?
Yeah. And then to really just build on the whole ignorance thing. The fact that they took the time, the fact that if this is a real situation, the person took the time to be like, oh, I'm undetectable. Bruh, pick up a book, do a Google search. That means you're good.
Right.
Like, there's so many studies. There's too much information out in the world for you to still be this stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's too much information out here for you to not understand what how HIV can be transmitted, including, what undetectable means. There's too much information out here for you to feel as if we're still in the days of polls where if you get HIV, you're gonna die. Like we're so far beyond that, and people still building up this conversation. People still talking about, oh well, I would never do this. I would never date somebody that's HIV positive. Or, would you do that? Like, bro, it's time out for that. Like you clout chasing. Shut up, sit down, read the book.
Yeah. And honestly, most of us probably have dated or either had sex with somebody who has, whether we knew it or not.
Yeah,
Because the statistics are just too high.
And I'm gonna say, and then on top of that, the people who be complaining about folks about dating people that's HIV positive, be folks walking around here with freaking blue waffle, and they've been tested since they were born. Like,
what is blue waffle?
Don't Google it. Don't. Don't.
I don't know. I don't know what that
is. Just know that it is. Just know that it is an STD that is horrid.
But even that part too is like the fact though that they are undetectable. So that means that they are taking their medicine. That means that they are going, regularly to get checked up to make sure that everything is still unchecked. Also, as well, people with HIV typically get tested for other STDs as well too, since they have to go so regularly. So it's like probably the safest person you could have sex with.
Yeah. I just, like I said, the tweet was trash, and that that account was suspended. In fact, I don't even think it exists anymore. It has just, left the planet. So, and rightfully so. And he got dragged to infinity with that one. So
that part.
So, I mean, and we always get questions. So this is kind of the next thing that I wanted to run into is just, we always get questions like, would you date someone who's HIV positive? And I also think in straight circles, we get questions like, would you rather your daughter be a hoe or your son be gay? And I was just curious, like, what do you guys think about questions like this that are just obviously, I don't know, I just feel like they obviously lean into conflict or trying to rile stuff up just for the sake of interacting with people online.
Like you said, clout chasing. It's like homophobia and misogyny. Just shut up.
Yeah.
That's really like
I think I hate too how like so many straight men have daughters and then they're like so protective, but they're so protective because they were trash.
Right.
Why were you trash then? Like, I don't like, why does it take you having a daughter for it to click? And even then it doesn't click with you. It only clicks when it comes to men dealing with your daughter.
Right.
They still be trash to their girlfriends or wives or whoever else. So I'm just like,
it's very strange. It's very strange. So last question is, what would it take to get past the stigma of HIV?
We need, and like really need to have like some serious sex education. Like there's a lot of layers to that. Like there's a lot of reasons why, but I think that we really got to get to the point to where people stop making stupid statements like that. Because while on one hand, I do think that this person is clout chasing, I will also say they probably really don't know for real that, what undetectable means. They probably really don't understand, like, how a person who has HIV, how they live their life and so on and so forth. So we have got to get to the point where we are having these real conversations. But hey, this is how you get this. This is how this is transmitted. If you do contract this is how you can treat yourself. This is what undetectable means. This is what what your what your blood counts mean. Like this is all of this stuff that's important for us to know, because we see the statistics. We understand like what those situations and things that we're living in. We have to know how to fight it. We have to know how to live through these times that we're in. And I think one of the only ways we can do that is by actually having conversation about it.
Yeah. I just find it so strange, and maybe this is me with my privilege hat on, but I just find like there's so much information out there that's readily available that sometimes I feel like you can't even really run away from. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, how do you not know this already? I don't know. Like,
I think it's easy to ignore stuff that you don't want to pay attention to. So I can get how they can be willfully ignorant or obtuse to things. But I also think too, it's like our community is affected by this too much for you to still be that ignorant. I get if you don't know every single in and out, fine. But that tweet right there completely uncalled for. Like it's because it's completely fake, false. Or it's like also too conflating having HIV with being a hoe.
Right.
And also too, I don't like it too how that's also the only STD that's like ever mentioned.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. All right. So I think we got a good rounded conversation on that. Is there anything else? Because I feel like it's an important conversation. I don't know if there's anything that we missed. If there is anything that we missed, is there anything that you want to say about this before we move on to Greenleaf?
Is it about that tweet?
About the tweet, about HIV awareness, anything?
I don't know. Just get tested for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Said and for what?
I said be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do feel like for me, I feel like safe sex is knowing your status, all of those statuses, and then being honest before having sex with whoever you're gonna have sex with. That doesn't necessarily, for me, safe sex does not always mean a condom. It means honesty.
Definitely.
I must say, I also would want to add that, you know, everybody needs to be honest. Like, we shouldn't just put that just on a person who, you know, may or may not have HIV. Like I said, you have people who are walking around here who haven't been tested since they started having sex, going out here, you know, having all sorts of things. But folks are refusing to get tested, or they do get tested and they see that they're HIV negative, so they think that they're good, not knowing that there is an entire laundry list of other things that you could be out here passing around to people. But you think that just because you don't have the big one that you safe, like that's not
exactly
right. So I'd still, maybe we can have a private conversation. I still want to know what blue waffle is. I don't want to Google it, but
I can see you a screenshot. You want to do that for me?
No,
I'm sending you links.
I'm scared.
I'm sending you links. I can send you that too. Let me go ahead.
Well, that was a new one. I was like, what? What is that? Okay.
Child, all 6 education was rough.
All right, so now we're moving into Greenleaf, which today, Brandon, you had just finally finished. But I'm glad because you got all the feels and everything, and it's nice and fresh for us. So yeah, episode 5. I think we're gonna start with Grace and Noah in this. Obviously, they're setting up for like a love triangle between her and Noah and what's Rick Fox's character's name?
It's Rick Fox.
So I call him Rick Fox.
Rick Fox, yeah.
So, you know, before we dig into the episode, I just want to know, like, what do you think about what this love triangle thing, and who do you think she should be with?
I'm leaning towards Rick Fox. I don't think her and Noah really have anything. I think it's a lot of nostalgia, but I think they kind of dealt with that season 1. And then he like got married, moved away. I feel like now he's just recently divorced. So he's like, let me latch back on to what is comfortable, familiar, whatever. Yeah. But they dated like 25 years ago.
Exactly.
Let that go.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially now that I now know where I know this man from. Now knowing that he was the one
from where.
Now knowing that he was the person coming in breaking up Alex and what you guys marriage on Noah's Ark, Trey's marriage on Noah's Ark.
Right.
No, let guy go on about his business.
Oh man, that was funny because I recognized him from that too, and I was just like, I don't know. But I mean, you know, but see, that's the thing. It's like I kind of have to break myself out of that because that's kind of what goes on in Hollywood. It's like once you play a gay character, it's like it's really hard for you to get out of that. And that's something that we need to stop doing. So, but aside from that, I think that she would end up better with Darius, which our viewer noted that was his name.
Thank you.
But Marcus, you're going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, like, you're right. Like, we do need to break out of that. But for me, it's not even that he played gay. It's that he was trifling.
Okay.
Well, he was trifling on here too.
Exactly.
Cheating on his fiance, like
that's like the dude that played Shaza Zulu on A Different World. He was trifling on A Different World. He was trifling on being Mary Jane. I believe he's trifling in real life.
Some people just play some bad characters very well, and it's like it's hard to get that label off of you, you know. So yeah, in the episode, Noah he remembers a journal from the caretaker of the Greenleaf estate. And I believe the caretaker is the one who was supposed to get the house in the first place. Is what the information was.
But the caretaker was over the house when the other lady had it, right? Like Miss
Yes.
Davis or whoever? Okay.
Yes. So back in the past, when the first owner had it, her caretaker of the house wrote in a journal, he kept talking about, you know, that Negro is coming around, blah, blah, blah. Kept saying that Negro. Yeah. So, you know, my whole theory is that the caretaker has something to do with Daryl James's death, because we're basically assuming that Negro is pointed to Daryl James, which is basically father. So.
He set him up to die so that he could get the house, not knowing that probably Mac was somewhere in the background plotting so they could get the house.
Right.
Yeah, either that or they were both in cahoots.
It's possible.
Okay.
But then Mac maybe did something to the caretaker. I don't know. But that's my thing. I mean, I just feel like there's definitely a motive there for the caretaker to have gotten rid of Daryl James, you know. And then we also had this mysterious phone call where Bishop swears he never called anybody, you know. And so it's like, well, who made the phone call? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe that was him.
Oh yeah, because we always known somebody called Daryl James to come to the church, and then the church caught on fire.
Yeah.
Because that's why Basie has been so mad. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, this is too much calling back to season 1, and we like 5 years later. So I'm like,
I need to go rewatch season 1 at this point.
Yeah. So, what else we got here? Jacob and Carissa. So they tell Zora they're getting a divorce. I felt bad for Zora in that scene afterwards when she was crying about it. She felt sad. Brandon, I saw a very different reaction from you, and I want to know why. What was your feeling? How are you?
Have Jacob and Carissa been happy the whole show? I was like, why is she so heartbroken? I was just like confused. I mean, and I granted, so I get that kids don't know every single thing that happens in their parents' marriage. That's fine. But I also felt like though they've been more on the outs or more tense with each other than they have been good over these 6 seasons or whatever it's been. Yeah. So I was just like, why is she so hurt?
Yeah, no, I can completely understand that. I mean, I personally got it from the viewpoint that these are her parents breaking up regardless of whether they were good or not. But I mean, I could definitely see your point where it's just like, okay, you know, at some point, if you're old
like
enough,
18, 19, I'm like, girl. Now Winky, I hate that name, but him, I could see being sad. But girl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like part of it for me is I feel like she, based off the conversation they had, she had this thing that her dad had been doing wrong, you know, had been doing her mom wrong. Mm-hmm. So like she was upset about it. But I think part of the thing that really kind of like just, I guess, broke her was coming to the realization that both of them was pretty much trash. And so that kind of like messed up her whole mindset, because she probably, if they had just said that, oh, well, I'm breaking up with Jacob, Chris had just said I'm breaking up with Jacob because he'd been cheating, she'd been okay. But now come and find out that, both of them been doing stuff, like, well, I don't know who to believe, I don't know who to trust no more.
But even that, I didn't take it that way. I took it as her feeling like Carissa was still trying to defend him. That's why I felt like she was so hurt. Because Carissa still didn't say, you know, what she did. She was just like, we both have messed up, or she said both have missed the mark, I think. So I don't think. But I think she got
that her mother was a cheater as well from that statement. I don't know. That was my interpretation.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe.
So, but so now I'm gonna ask, like, do you think Jacob and Carissa will mend things by the end?
No, please don't. Please don't.
Okay, and why not? Do you think that would be like unbelievable? Do you think that wouldn't be believable?
don't. Honestly, I don't. I feel, and part of that maybe because I don't really know why they were together in the first place. Like it felt really kind of, I don't know. It felt like a marriage of, yeah, it felt like a marriage of
convenience. I think we I think you cut out on us, Marcus.
And then
okay, you back?
Huh?
You hear like froze.
Like, huh?
We heard convenience.
Oh.
You ended at marriage of convenience, and then
I was like, wait, what? Okay, but yeah, like marriage of convenience. What did I say? There's marriage of convenience. Oh, and all this drama they've been through all this time. They might as well just. I mean, you building up all this, just gonna break them up. They break them up.
Right.
Yeah. I was trying to think to myself today. Was like, why does he love Carissa, or why does she love Jacob? And I really couldn't come up with an answer. Because all we've seen from them is this contentious relationship, you know, and it's kind of like, why are you guys staying together? They could have, I mean, I guess maybe they could make the argument that it's for the kids or something like that. And a lot of times people do that. But I don't even know why they really got together in the first place. So it's just kind of a strange relationship. But by the end of the episode, we have Bishop and Lady Mae. They're on their way to go talk to Tara and tell her that the house was hers. But they were greeted by none other than her and Basie's half sister, Rochelle. And I have in parentheses, I called it. So what did you guys think about this bombshell of an ending?
I was mad it was the ending, honestly. I kind of wanted just a little bit more before it went off.
Okay.
But I don't know. And they just like looking at Tara like, really? But I'm like, it's still her sister. And she's never said that she was like dead. So I'm like, why are y'all so mad?
So, right.
Marcus, what do you think?
This was one of those situations where the credits spoiled me. Because I ended up looking up at the screen at just the right time when I saw her name. I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready for it. And because I love her character on this show.
Me too.
I agree that they shouldn't have been surprised, but I think that in their minds, they was like, you know, this is the good skanks. I guess they was like, oh, she ain't gonna be in cahoots with Basie
or siblings,
Yeah, I'm messing with her siblings, what have you. But like, it's her sister still, especially if you got this big of a thing, somebody that has probably been with them since they've been kids, getting this house. Yeah, she gonna call her sister.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting because now I'm like, okay, if they were going to give up the house and then she's there, like, what changes now? You know, is it the fact that, is it now like, oh, we're not giving it to you if you're not going to do something positive with it, because they were thinking that she might do something, you know, like some kind of a center with the church. Okay. Because now it's just going to be, you know, Rochelle taking it over and being the woman of the house or something, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I am excited, though, that she's back, because I feel like now it'll kind of pick up a bit, because I feel like these first 5 episodes were kind of
they were a little slow. They were a little slow, I will admit. Now, as far as like the reason that I thought that she may come first is because I feel like Basie, if he comes back, he's more like a final boss type.
Absolutely,
you know what I'm saying? Like he's somebody you see in like the last 2-3 episodes.
And he's gonna pop up at the very end too.
Yeah,
right.
Come here talking like Foghorn Leghorn.
What was it? A couple seasons ago at Tasha's house? I think it was like the very end. Rochelle was there, and he came from out the bushes. It's like,
Too much. Okay, so wait, what do we remember? I guess Brandon, you must have seen. Maybe you saw the previews for the next week. I don't remember.
I didn't see it.
Okay, did you, Marcus?
Yes, but all I remember was that it was more LaToya Luckett.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull it real quick.
I'm trying to remember. That was a big thing. Oh, I remember. Lady Mae it led it to believe that Lady Mae was about to finally tell the rest of the family about who Grace's daddy was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's what they set it up to look like. Then. Now we'll see what it is. But
also too, something I didn't realize until I think I realized it last week, but I forgot to mention it. Whatever. Like every episode has only been the course of a day this season. I guess because they're building up to the demolition, whatever. Like, that's how you say it. But of the church. So
You know,
that'll be interesting.
I was very happy to get a reprieve from Judy. Okay, I did not want to see her this week. I was just glad to not get a Judy scene because she's just
what do y'all
so
think?
weird.
What do y'all think is gonna happen with the dude's dad? I can't think of his name right now. I'm horrible with
Oh,
names.
he was in the preview too.
Okay, because Charity called him this week trying to figure out what was going on. He was against Short. He was like, "I'm not telling you nothing. Goodbye."
Right.
Like,
Wait, what happened? I'm sorry, I was looking
Charity
at comments.
calling. What is the guy's? I don't know the guy's name.
Phil DeMars.
But his dad. Yes.
Yeah.
His dad, yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting. I don't know what his. I think at some level he's obviously going to play bigger into the story at some point. Somebody's going to convince him to step in or say something to him. I think that might be the key to saving Phil from himself, so to speak.
Yeah.
And kind of bringing him back to Charity and getting them back on the road to happiness or something.
It's like they're trying to save the church. They're trying to save their house. There's too much
Right.
They're just taking everything for these people.
Right. But the house too, I think I forgot they literally all still live in the house right now. So I'm like, the house is very important.
Right.
And then how about that one scene where AJ was talking to Sophia and he was like, all these people, they've grown, they live in this house. They don't, where they do that?
That's the most sense. That's the most sense AJ has made this whole show.
Right. It was interesting. It was an interesting take. And I was like, oh wow, y'all really just that was almost like a self-own or something, you know, for the writers to make, because it's like, where does this happen?
But even with him, I still need something about Odu from the gravesite. Like, you can't just have like went through all the past few episodes and now you better. What happened with our buddy?
Right. They need to give his storyline some more juice, not just building this old car that Bishop gave him.
We don't care about.
We don't.
Right. All right. So I think that's just about it. But I do have one last question. Who would you like to pay for OnlyFans? Because y'all didn't answer that question before, and I want to bring that back around. And I ain't forgot. Okay.
I legit forgot. I was like, oh, well, that's happened. Oh Lord.
Brandon. Look, you can either answer that question. You can tell us one of your favorite OnlyFans, one of the people you follow on OnlyFans, or give me a suggestion.
I don't know his name, but his news were like floating around. I think he's on Legendary or something. I don't know his name though. But what I saw was nice. So if he had a page, I would pay for that. Let me see if I can find this man's name.
Yes, and Marcus while he's doing that.
I think you pronounced it Dylan Burnside, the dude that plays Ricky on Pose.
Oh, Dylan Burns. He has an OnlyFans?
Yeah. No, I'm saying.
I was about to say.
Look at you. That's how
he was gonna make an OnlyFans now. I would get his. Okay, yeah, because it's not. I don't think it's pronounced Dylan, because I feel like I'm saying that. But yeah, him. I would definitely follow.
Okay, he's a cutie.
I know this man's name. Sorry.
And I think the only person that I know from OnlyFans, just from my own research, is this guy. I forget. This man. I think his name is like. Okay, I'm like going to put all my business out there, but what's his name? Like Crave or something? Or is that just a regular porn star? Is he just a regular porn star?
Well, two people named Crave.
Okay,
Crave Melanin. He has lots.
I think it's
Okay, yeah.
Y'all just nodded, like. Yeah. Okay, so you still looking for somebody, Brandon?
Okay, that's his name. Gorgeous Gucci.
Gorgeous Gucci.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know of him.
No, I remember that he's talking about.
The video?
Yeah.
Listen.
All right, send me the link. So Well, on that note, everyone, I just want to let you know that we will be going on a 1-week hiatus. Meet us back here August 9th for another episode. We might be talking about, I think we're going to be bringing up Real Housewives of Potomac because I am super excited.
Listen.
Yeah. Now, Marcus, I don't know if you watch.
If this is on the combo, I'll watch.
We love you for it.
But you know what?
I was also thinking we don't gotta stick with it now.
I was also thinking like we could do something separate, like just have like a TV talk. I don't know. I'll talk about y'all. I'll talk about that with you guys separately because I feel like we can watch a lot of TV. I don't know. But so anyway, if you enjoyed what you saw, please give us a like. Please give us a share or retweet, whatever. It means the world to us because it lets us know that you are interested in hearing what we got to say. And yeah, I mean, I think was that basically it. I'm not as eloquent as I am usually, so I'm going to leave it there. So,
you haven't been drinking today.
Exactly. It's just not rolling off the tongue. I'm very guarded with my words today. I'm glad, given the OnlyFans conversation, I'm glad I was not drinking today.
Oh, you might have told us more. Okay.
Yeah,
I told y'all too much. I might have told y'all too much.
You better have told us the username.
No, I have no username on OnlyFans.
That's what they say.
So, all right. So, glasses up, everyone. Until next time. Hold on, let me get the gallery view. Until next time, be careful what you say because the boys will brunch. Cheers, everyone.